BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Shall we do this?
Let's do it.
In the house, USA.
This is The Players.
Welcome to The Players,
There's a picture of me that I really regret in a Cowboys hat.
the podcast that flips the script on how we talk football.
I've experienced a lot of stuff that no one should ever experience.
What really goes on and off the pitch.
Okay, I'll shoot it, and then I shot it.
Yeah, and then I just shot it. It was a pretty sick shot though, huh?
I'm passing the mic to those who know it best, the players themselves.
I still get upset about a penalty I took when I was 12. If I scored, everyone got a free pair of boots, and I missed, and everyone got a boot bag.
It was like squeaky bum time, basically.
Did you just say squeaky bum time?
Squeaky bum time,
Right, yeah.
You're listening to The Players with Bex Smith.
With me on The Players this week, we have 2 World Cup winners and Manchester City newbies, Rose Lavelle and Sam Mewis. It's so nice to hear an American accent.
Yeah, well, here you go. You've got 2 right here.
Yeah, I used to captain New Zealand, so that always threw everybody for a loop. They're like, what? So today we're at the home of one of the world's best football clubs. So no surprise, I find myself with 2 world champions. And we'll be talking about what it takes to be the best. So from your perspective of the next generation, or as I like to call you guys, the young guns. No? Didn't like that one?
Oh, no, we like it. We like it a lot. We accept.
You accept? The young guns? And you're both playing for Manchester City, and it's your first time outside the US, right? Playing. How has that been, adjusting? Any sort of nerves coming over the pond?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was definitely nerves because we knew it would be different, and I think you always anticipate that you're gonna change, but I think when there's that adjustment period, there is kind of I don't know, I feel like I was definitely really nervous when I first came in, but I think all the girls were so welcoming and so nice, so it definitely made it a lot easier, and now it's so fun, and doing it with Sam is even more fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think knowing that Rose was coming too definitely made the decision and the first couple weeks a little bit easier. I think in a new environment, you're challenged in all these new ways, but I think it's been really helpful for both of us to have someone that we're so comfortable with, and that knows us away from here. So it's kind of that piece of just home and being yourself that's brings an element of ease to a new situation. So yeah. That's been really helpful.
Yeah.
You worded that way better than I did. Typical.
Sorry.
Rose, what were you most nervous about moving over here?
I don't know, everything. I mean, I'm a huge homebody.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of the big decision for me was being far from home, which sounds like I sound like such a baby, but I love being home. So I think that was kind of the big step for me. And then I think just experiencing a different style and a different training environment. I was just I was nervous, but. Yeah. I feel good now.
Yeah. When you say style, you mean clothes too, or playing style?
Oh, yeah, both of them. We were talking before how I thought coming over here that I feel my style is I just dress like a slob.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that I wasn't going to be able to dress like a slob because I feel everyone's so much more put together here.
Do you feel that way still being here?
I do feel people are more put together, but I feel comfortable dressing like a slob still.
Yeah. I feel people have for the most part embraced that we've it's funny because people were oh, it's going to be so easy. They speak the language, everything's the same, but not to be a weirdo about it, but there are little cultural differences that you kind of have to learn about and
yeah, when people go you all right?
Yeah, and you're
Sam
I'm fine. Do I look sad? I'm literally fine. Are you okay?
And what they mean is
how are you?
Yeah.
So now my automatic response is someone will say, "You okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?" I'm trying to change them back to my way.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird getting into the languages because like you said, it is English, but my parents are Kiwis, and so they say things like, "Are you going to go to the loo?" And my friends as kids, they were the what? Sorry? What are the other things that you've noticed that are different here? Because Manchester does have a little bit of a different slang as well, I've heard.
Yeah,
I think I'm trying to think what else.
I've been joking with Kira a little bit you have to accept our culture, but I just mean things we'll wear something that she thinks is funny and she'll make fun of us. And I'm like, you'd be more accepting of our culture, but it's a joke and it's all like well and good. And everybody obviously is like so great.
Yeah.
But I just think like little things. I don't know if I can think of a good example, but
I know, I'm trying to think of like little things that people have said, or people have said house tricks.
House
Have
tricks.
you heard of that one?
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
me
how are
neither.
things?
Yeah, I think it was just like, how are things? But I didn't even know how to respond. I was like,
I don't know her, actually.
I don't know.
How
I
is
don't know how
tricks?
it is.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So I wrote down some of the Manchester slang for you because
Oh,
when I
perfect.
moved over to the multiple different countries that I was in as well, I was kind of like, what are you talking about? Because I've got some for you, but we'll do it in a little bit of a quiz if that's cool. Because Sam, I heard that you were good in school actually at UCLA.
Did Rose tell you that?
One
did
Rose
not.
told me
Was
that.
that
Oh, our other Rose. Okay.
Rosie White might have told me that. But
I
yeah.
did okay. Okay. I passed.
Did you pass? What did you actually study?
English.
There you go.
Yeah.
This will be very helpful for you,
Yeah.
expanding your
My
English universe.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. What did you study in Wisconsin, Rose?
Sociology.
Nice. There you go. This is going to be very helpful as well.
I'm a sociologist.
Right. So, what does it mean when a person from Manchester says mint?
I feel like I've heard of that one, but it's
It's like
flies
that's
right
like
over my head.
like nice or fresh or like good. Like that's
Yes.
nice. Right?
Ding, ding.
Sure.
1 point. Yes.
Like that's a mint new
Pants.
pant. Pant?
Speaking of pants, Rose, where did you get those sweatpants? They're very cool.
I got them from this like little Australian shop.
They're very cool, right?
Yeah.
She
Ew.
got so many comments on them today.
I know. They've been like a hot topic for today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like,
They're like very understated too. Like I'm surprised so many people were commenting.
I
on
know.
them.
They're
But
not, like,
that's-
rainbow
that's something they do
tie-dye.
here. If you
They're
wear
totally
anything, if you wear
understated.
anything out of the norm, it's like, hey, like I wore a camo sweatshirt yesterday, and everybody was like, "Where's Sam?" And I was like, "I'm just wearing a camo sweatshirt. I'm sorry."
They don't have camo in the UK.
Like they do, but they just find something to make fun of you about, and they latch on to it. And then if you like react, they like go even harder.
Do you make fun back? Do you
I
feel
try, but
comfortable?
I'm like a gentle giant, so usually I just like take it.
And when you say gentle giant, you mean like because of your height or because of...
Yeah, yeah.
You're much taller than actually I thought you were.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good thing though,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's great. No complaints.
Right, so mint means good. Well
Okay.
done. Next one is engen.
Like, what's
Can you
engen?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Like, she's
the
looking
origin?
engen. She's engen today. It means to describe something that is pretty bad or feeling or looking rough.
I
So-
feel like they'd say mingin.
Yeah, mingin's another one. I
Yeah.
think that might be a swear word.
Oh,
I'm not
sorry.
100% sure. I think it's okay. I think. I'm not sure. All good. What about brew?
Is that
Coffee.
Close.
tea?
Yes.
Come on, Rose. We're in England.
Scran.
Scran.
Michael Scarn. I don't know that one.
Food. Yeah, there you go.
So this is, I don't know if this is just a willy-nilly Sam. You can say whatever you feel like talking about. But they call lunch dinner and dinner tea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Somebody
we'll
was
be
like,
here
Pat
at
cooked you
noon and
tea.
someone goes, are you going to dinner? And I'm like, later. But like, they mean lunch and then they'll
I know.
make tea and it's dinner.
Yeah.
Somebody the other day asked me, like, oh, did you like Pat cooked you tea? Or like, how was Pat's tea? Or
Yeah.
and I was like,
Don't
I don't
know.
recall.
Drinking any tea. Yeah. Good. I think you guys did well. I think you did win, Sam, the
Oh,
quiz.
I didn't know it was a competition, but
If I would have known, I would have done better.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I heard also, too, that you guys are kind of pranksters on the U.S. team. Would that be accurate?
It's more Rose and Sonnet will prank me and then I just like accept it.
Take it as the gentle giant.
Yeah, we always laugh. Me, Sam, and our other friend Sonnet. We're like the three best friends, but we have no clue how we became friends.
We're
at
like
all.
so different and like I'm
Really?
older than them and like God knows how we became friends, but now we're
Yeah, like me and Sam, it's like shocking that we're friends.
Yeah, we like have nothing in common.
What do you mean nothing in common?
No, we do have a lot in common, but
We
we're
do.
just like different personality types, I think.
Like what's your
Like I'm
personality?
type A, like very organized, like very like stressed and like anxious and like timely.
Yeah.
Answer every email the second I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
And yeah, I know, it's just a little different.
Well, are you always late or
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not late. I'm just not 20 minutes early.
20
enough.
minutes? Yeah.
Fair enough.
You would actually do really well in Germany.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're on time, you're late. So on time means 5 minutes early. So I think you do well there.
Probably not me.
So you haven't done any pranks or anything on
I was thinking of the
teammates
one me
here?
and Sonnet like did on you, one of our first
In
like
the stairwell. That like wasn't a prank. It was just like bullying.
No.
No, I was thinking of it was like one of our
when you
first,
told me you went to Atlanta.
No, it was one of our first camps together. It was when we were in Colorado. And like me, Sam, and Sonnet were gonna get dinner together, but Sam texted me and Sonnet and was like,
Oh yeah, this is what I meant. I didn't realize we were in Colorado. They texted me. I was like, okay, what are we doing for dinner? It's like 5:30. It's like time to start planning dinner.
Or tea.
And they go, oh, we're so sorry. We went with Kelly into the city. Like, we can bring you something back if you want.
we
And
said to Uber. We were like, do you want to Uber?
and
meet
I
us
wrote back
there?"
and I go, it's okay. Wait,
She goes, haha, it's okay. Have fun.
but with like no, like,
Not really have fun.
no. And then they just like came and knocked on my door and were like peeing their pants laughing at me for like getting worked up about it. And I was just like, fine.
Fun.
So now whenever somebody does something annoying, we just go, haha,
It's okay. Have fun.
Oh. Have you done any pranks here? Do you feel comfortable enough yet?
No, but Georgia like goes back and forth stealing our GPS units before we go to training. And then like every day we're walking out like, do you have it or not? Like she's
And she's
pranking
like, I
us.
don't know. And we're like, well, we know. We know that it's you.
So no, like I feel like we're getting pranked.
Yeah.
But our time will come.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide to move to Man City? Did you do it together?
No. No, I think we like knew the other one was also considering it, but for me, it just came up over the summer and my agent said that it might be an option and of course I was interested. I like know this is such a great club and a great team and I think that it was like the right time for me and the right decision. I think I've always wanted to experience playing overseas and the idea of coming and having so many games when I'm going to try to be making the Olympic team it just seemed like really good timing for me. So I was super excited about it and just knowing that Rose was considering it as well, definitely like put a little extra check mark in the pros column.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she's here, obviously.
Thanks. Yeah.
Same story.
Again, she said it perfectly.
And did you know any of the players over here, like in the WSL or any of the English players or any of the
Yeah,
men's
I mean,
players?
we've obviously like played against them so many times. I keep saying I kind of feel like playing England has kind of become this rivalry.
Yeah.
Because it's always like such a great game and they have great players, obviously. So that was like one of the things I was really excited about was I felt like the training environment was going to be just like really good and you'd be like going up against really good players, but then at the same time, then we get to like share the field and be on their team and not play against them. So yeah, I think it seemed like it was going to be a really fun, cool experience.
Has there been anything yet that you've learned from your teammates here?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think to compliment the girls here, I think everybody has been so technical. And I feel like also so tactically aware. I think there are times like that they have seen something develop way before I did. And I would just compliment them. And like, I think it's so obvious that they've just grown up playing soccer and that they like have such a good understanding of the game. They watch the game.
Yeah.
And I just like rate everybody really highly here. I think that their understanding of the game is like really, really good. And I feel like we have a lot to learn from them.
Yeah. What about you, Rose?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think like you just have to be so like technically switched on here, but I feel like it's so natural to them. They're all just like so technical and like, yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys talk to Carly before you came over?
Yeah, I think like it kind of, there was like a rumor that we were coming here before it was really happening.
even
I
knew?
think somebody, I was like, oh, I am. But I think from that, Carly and I got to talking a little bit, and I just got to ask her like a couple questions, and she's just raved so much about the people here and the facilities, and I think hearing such positive things about the league itself from her, and then from a couple other players like Crystal, who had a really great experience here as well, was great and definitely helpful in making the decision.
Yeah, and let's talk about the England team and the England players, because the World Cup, that game, the semifinal, would you guys say that was the hardest game that you had? Or like emotionally, I was drained after the game, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, you scored, they scored, you scored, Ellen White scores, no, she's offsides, like what?
Oh, I forgot about that part.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, because we came off beating France, and like that game in itself was like so big to play like the home team with like a huge home crowd. So then it was like, now we have a next game that's like just as hard.
Yeah.
But it was, there was like so much that happened that game.
Yeah, it
but
was definitely
so
like a
fun.
roller coaster. Then there was the PK and the save, and just like, it was definitely a roller coaster of a game. But we like have so much respect for the England team. We always have. They've given us so many good games over the years, and I know that they are like so motivated from that. So we just have a ton of respect for them, and we know they're always going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah, it was a weird game for me too, because like I said, I was captain of New Zealand, but obviously American as well. So when we played against you guys in the London Olympics, after we lost to you, I like put on my USA t-shirt and then went and was like friends and family, and like, because Boxy was a good friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
And then when you guys won the gold medal, I did like all the gold medal celebrations and stuff. So it was like, am I against? Am I for US? And I kind of had that same feeling when you guys were playing England, because, you know, living here now for 2 years and always an American fan, obviously, but also I knew a lot of the girls and had supported them through the WSL and all that. So it was kind of a weird vibe as well for me. I was like, when you scored, I was like, yes! And then England scored, I was like, yes! So I was happy though that you guys won, obviously. But do you guys talk about that game? Like walking into the changing room here, was it weird?
No, I feel like people have asked us that, like if we're gonna like bring it up, and we were obviously like, no. Of course not. Like we would never. But I have talked, like on the bus back the other day, a few of us were like just chatting about some of like the ins and outs of the game and how intense it was, and just like I think talking about your experiences with soccer in general, and those are the kind of games that come up because they're the big games, and of course we want to talk about the World Cup and the Olympics and people's experience. So I think just getting to know the players here as my friends, like those are the kinds of things that we're talking about, because we want to hear about each other's experiences. And I feel like knowing them as I do now, I have even more respect for them because I see how hard they work every day and how good they are away from games like that. So I think it's been something like, of course, we're not going to like bring it up willingly, but it's been talked about a couple times and it's been fine.
How was it at the World Cup? Like how, we're looking back now, I mean, you get asked this probably a gazillion times, but how was it for you?
Stressful.
Yeah, that was my first word was going to be stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful. I mean, I just think like when you're in those moments, like everybody, it's like it happens once every 4 years, and like it's just like you have to be so turned on every moment because like the turnaround to the next game is so soon. So it's like whether you win or lose, you like don't really have time to like dwell on it. It's kind of like recover and get ready for the next game. So I feel like you're just on this like emotional high.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah.
I thought you were
on
about to go
level
like this, and I
high.
was like, a treadmill.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, though. Like,
Yeah.
you're just, like, kind of, like, have to be, like, in this high pressure, high emotion moment for, like, a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was stressful. But then, obviously, it's, like, that's what you, like, work your whole life towards.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like in, like, your normal life, you have, like, kind of a balance. Like, you go to training, and then you go home and you make dinner, and you have, like, time with your family or your dog, or you kind of have this balance of, like, soccer and everything else. But I feel like, and I feel like in moments like that, it's, like, you have one thing to do, and, like, there's no time for anything else, and there's no, like, room for anything else. So it's, what am I doing right now to get ready for this next game? And that could be like hanging out with your teammates. Like we had moments where we were like dancing and laughing, but I think even that was like this like necessary release. We needed just a minute to like kind of like let loose and laugh it off for a second before we were back to, okay, let's go eat again and let's go stretch again and let's go watch film again. It was very like one track, like one focus for like the whole time.
Did you guys have any expectations going into it?
I don't know. I don't, like, really know what I expected. But I feel like we had so many like veteran players that had been through it before, so it was nice to like kind of have them to follow and learn from throughout it. But yeah, I don't really like know what I
think
expected.
the only thing I would point to was like, I know we've both played in Youth World Cup, so I think that like the structure of it was actually really helpful to know like, okay, you're going to have to like play and then travel and then play again and then travel again. And so having been through that experience and being prepared for like the ebbs and flows of like, you're in a new hotel now and now you have new food to adjust to. But I think like because there are like so many eyes on the like full World Cup, it had this other element of just like anxiety and stress that like I didn't really anticipate feeling so much of. But like Rose said, I actually think the veterans like were able to take a lot of that away from us and say like, you guys just focus on soccer, like we've been through this and like we'll handle it. And in that way they like led us so well and like enabled us to just focus on playing.
That's so cool. What do you mean they led like they let you play? What did they?
When the media was kind of on us about the Thailand game and the score. And I think that some of our veteran players like Alex and Pino were kind of just like, we will handle the media. Like, you guys didn't do anything wrong. Let us take care of this. Keep focused on the next game. And kind of like protected us and shielded us from that a little bit, which I think just like demonstrated how willing they were to do whatever was necessary for the team. And it made me just really appreciate in that moment that we had players who, one, were capable of doing that and kind of putting the brunt of like the media on them, but recognizing that we needed that from them and that it was going to be really important for the team for them to kind of handle it.
What was your favorite part about the World Cup?
Mine was having my family there. I think
nice.
I just remember before the first game, like knowing my parents were in the stands and just kind of having this moment of like, they got me here and now I can like kind of make it all worth it for them, and just having this like emotional moment of like, it kind of came full circle that they drove me everywhere and they paid for everything and they like went through all these sacrifices for me, but that it all like kind of worked out. So I just think sharing with my parents and my husband too, who was there, was just like, I know how much they've been through to help me get here. So it was really nice to share it with them.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like it was really nice. The last game, like at the end, they were all sitting like close enough to the field that we all like were able to like go up and like hug all our friends and family. And I feel like that was like so special to be able to share that moment with them in the moment, not just like after the game, which I feel like is how it usually goes when you're in those games. It's like you get done, go in the locker room, and then see them after the game. But to be able to like share that moment with them on the field immediately after was like really, really special.
That's cool, because then you also scored in the final. Do you remember that? Remember that thing? Yeah. Should we take a look at it? Do you need a reminder? Do you need a reminder?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, go on. Let's have a look. Can we?
I want to look.
So can you walk us through this? Because Sam, was it Crystal won the ball and then she got it to you, so you actually passed it to Rose.
Yep.
Best friend pass,
baby.
The secret of the success is you two combining together. So what, you pick it up here and then you're running.
Yeah. Well, I do remember, like, I feel like there was so much that went in, like, leading up to that play. Like, obviously, Crystal stops their counterattack, and I feel like the whole game, like, we didn't have a lot of space to, like, dribble and transition on them. I feel like they were doing a really good job of stopping that. So I feel like Crystal kind of, like, kick-started that transition, and then, like, Sam did a great job drawing the players in.
To pass you a 5-yard pass.
It was a good 5-yard pass, though.
You drew, like, the midfield in, and then I feel like I kind of had some open space, so I took it, and then I remember I was just kind of waiting for one of the center backs to, like, step to me so I could, like, slot it to Alex, and I think Alex was doing a really good job, like, keeping the center backs occupied and kind of, like, thinking about her. And then they, like, didn't step to me, so I was like, okay,
Bless up,
I guess I'll shoot it, and then I shot it. So I feel like there was like a lot of like people obviously that like made that happen, and a lot of moving pieces to it. So it was nice.
Yeah, just shrug it and then I just shot it. Like, it was a pretty sick shot though, huh?
I just remember being like really relieved after, because I feel like it was just like we like got the insurance goal, and then I felt like with the way things were going, like if we just kind of buckled down and like defended, then I was like, okay, we got it.
We got this. Yeah, and you also almost scored in the game. Do you remember that in the beginning?
Yeah, was it in the first half?
Yeah.
The header?
Yes.
I know. It's okay. It all worked out in the end. It's not that big of a deal.
It's weird though, right? Like, I mean, you had so many you guys both played incredible, obviously. Like, does that moment or any of those moments in the World Cup, do you still think about things that you sort of wish you had done better?
Yeah, like of course there are always things I wish I had done better, but I would never change the World Cup. Like I'm exactly what happened is why we won. So like I don't want to change that, but I think looking back at it, it's like what are ways we could improve and what are ways we can help that team perform even better or improve ourselves individually. So I think there was like a lot to learn from it, but I obviously wouldn't change a thing. Like it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
So moving forward, because you guys are kind of like the next gen, right? So, you know, a lot of players are going to be moving on. And how do you want to take that team forward? Would you just sort of follow in the same footsteps, or are there things that you kind of would do differently or you want to bring into the team?
I mean, I feel like the biggest thing we always talk about with the team is like the mentality. And I feel like growing up and like watching, I was like obviously a super fan for the national team. And I feel like when you would watch them, like you could like see it and sense like the mentality of just like you can never count them out. Like it could be they could be losing by however many goals and like they're still in the game.
Yeah, so true.
So it's like I always like could see it just like when growing up, but then I think to actually like be in it and be a part of it, it's like a whole nother level that I didn't even realize. So I feel like, and that's like something starting all the way back to like when it first started, like it's just kind of been this legacy that I feel like has like continued on with every national team. Like players just like pass it on, and I think it's like one of our biggest strengths. So I feel like that's like kind of one of our, I don't know, duties.
Yeah.
Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think from the outside, it's like, oh, that's so incredible that they have that. But then I think on the inside, it's like it can be really hard to maintain and keep the standard there all the time. And I think it comes from the veteran players like really demanding the most from us and like it's not easy to be on the team. You have to perform well every day and be consistent and do all the extra little things all the time. So I think that like if that responsibility ever does get passed on to us, if we're the veterans someday, I think knowing that not only do we have to uphold that ourselves, but we have to expect that from younger players as well, is one of the things I'd say like needs to be maintained and like passed on, because the players we have now have done such a good job of that, and the players before them did too.
Yeah.
And do you feel that there's a pressure to be the best because of that legacy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like we are expected to win ourselves. We expect that from ourselves. I think our federation, our country expects that from us, and I think that that's a good thing. Like I think it helps us uphold the standards and keep the standards really high. And I think the experiences that we've had from winning are ones that we bring to every game we go into. So it's kind of a positive thing. But yeah, I think there is an expectation that even just from ourselves that we want to win all the time.
Yeah. And having lived outside of the U.S. too, like, you know, in Germany or Sweden, and you play with those teams and those players, it really is, I think, the one thing that sort of defines the American way of playing. So I remember in 2015, I was on the organizing side of it from FIFA, and I was watching the first games of the U.S., and I was like, they don't look good. Like, they really are not looking that strong. Do you remember the beginning of that tournament?
Yeah, it like started kind of rocky, didn't it?
It totally did. And then it's like every game they got better and better. And then like final 5-2, you're just like, even if the U.S. doesn't play well, y'all win.
Yeah, I think that's like a staple of the team. Like it's not always pretty, but you find a way to win. And that's like very American, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I feel like being on the national team now, like I'm so like proud of that. And I think there is like a view that would say something different, that there are other things that are more important. But I just feel like winning like really brings the group together in a way that nothing else does. And so if you can fight to pull out the win, even when you maybe haven't played your best, or when it's been like a really tough game or you've been behind, like that camaraderie that you get from coming back or from fighting for it is just like one of the best things a team can have.
Yeah. Are you guys hard on each other? Like, do you get really sort of like tough words, really? Or do you dish it out as well?
I don't feel like it's in our nature to like be the like tough ones, but I definitely think in that environment there are people, and I think
You need
sometimes,
that.
yeah, like I think like sometimes it's necessary, and it's what like pushes people and like keeps the standard high. So like,
Yeah, I think different people have different roles, and like one really cool thing about the national team is that everybody brings like a little bit of a unique thing to the table, and there are some people upholding the standard by just silently like setting an example, and there are other people demanding more from their teammates, and there are other people like cheering people on. So I feel like if you have a good balance of all the different roles, you like could have success.
yeah.
Yeah, and what I also like about the American mentality is the positivity. So it's kind of like, even if you have not a good pass or not a good game, you know that your teammates are kind of going to be like, it's fine, you know, like, yeah, it wasn't a great game, but the next one will be better. You know, there's always this like sort of positive outlook. When I moved to Germany, I went to my first training, and I was like doing shooting training. Was a defender, right? And I was doing some sprints and stuff, and one of the girls came up to me and she was like, "You're too slow." I was like, okay. Anything else? Like any sort of positive sort of reinforcement there? It was like, no, you're just too slow. You need to be faster. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I miss America. Take me back. Yeah, anyway, very interesting.
It's so funny. I was talking to people here, and they were saying how they just like think Americans are so positive, and I was like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I guess it's like not something I really like. I feel like I wouldn't be like, oh, we're so positive.
Yeah.
Not that I think we're like negative, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't like
I know.
define us as like super, super positive. It's interesting to hear like how other people view us.
Yeah. And you were mentioning before that there's some players that are a bit more tough than others on the team. Who are the tough ones on the team?
Oh, I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Really? Oh, okay.
I mean, everybody plays their role so
Yeah.
well, and so I think regardless of if you're someone who gives tough love, or you come and you pat me on the back after, or you're cheering me on, everybody's role is so important. So I wouldn't say a negative thing about anybody. I think what everybody does is so necessary, and I feel like every player brings something unique to the table that is necessary for like the balance of what we need.
Yeah.
Are you guys keeping in touch with your U.S. teammates when you're over here? Do you
Yeah.
guys have like a
Yeah.
WhatsApp group or?
Yeah, I think they're some of my best friends, so I feel like we always still talk and keep in touch and like see how they're doing, and they go into camp soon, and me and Sam are gonna be sad and have FOMO, but yeah, we still keep in touch.
Yeah, and then you guys were the first signings to come to the WSL, and then everyone else followed you guys, right? It's Tobin and Kristen and Alex, they were like, we're going to go where they go, right? Have you seen them yet?
We've run into Press and Tobin just because we live in a similar area, so we've run into them outside, but I think just because of COVID, we're like not really going to have like a social like gathering just yet. But hopefully when it's all over, we can like hang out with them a little bit more. And I know that they're both doing great over at Man U, and I know we play them a couple times coming up, so we're excited for that.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you met Alex's little one yet, Charlie?
No,
but Rose, I'm going to let you talk about it. You've been
Go
wanting
on.
No, I was just hoping that when we played them a couple weeks ago that Alex would travel so we could meet Charlie.
Yeah.
She looks so cute.
So cute,
So
right?
cute.
Yeah. And just wrapping up for the World Cup stuff, did you guys have any sort of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas stories or parties? I mean, I know you're not going to say anything, Sam.
No, I mean, whatever. It's fine. Like, I'm 28 years old.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
We had a pool party, and the story I tell, that's like, I can tell it. I had a couple drinks, and I was running around chest bumping people.
Yep.
And I chest bumped Pino so hard her sunglasses fell off and broke. And I like had to Venmo her for them because I was like mortified that I did that. But then like another funny part of the story is when I woke up, my own sunglasses were snapped. It was such an expensive day. Just because of like my poor behavior. So
It sounds worth it though.
It was so well.
I
Not that
literally
day.
was just saying
there were
that.
other parts of it that were like so worth it and so fun, but that day was just like, Sam, come on.
You probably needed it though after like at least a month of
Yeah, we needed to let
high
loose.
intensity.
It was fun. We were really lucky to have like such fun
Yeah.
celebrations.
I'm gonna ask you about your U.S. teammates if you don't mind. Who's the funniest one on the team?
Pinot,
Yeah, Pinot's funny.
like just witty, like just has something hilarious to say about everything. Like she's so funny.
And Sam. I think Sam's so funny. Sam's just like, I always say this, but
Rose just laughs at everything I do, even if it's like a serious thing. Like I'll like
throw her
what-
back out.
Yeah, I threw my back out and Rose is sitting there giggling and I'm like, it's not a joke. But like not to be mean, I think she just, thinks I'm funny.
She's so funny.
Or like I'll fall in training and she just is like losing her mind laughing.
It's just like she's one of those people that she doesn't even have to try to be funny, and like everything she says or does is just so funty.
There you go.
What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work out with the football, we know.
I can just walk around and get laughed at. Perfect. I don't know if that's a career.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Stand up, maybe not. Who's always late or last one to arrive?
I mean, nobody's like late to meetings, but like I kind of think Allie Long is late sometimes, no?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like not in a
like
bad way.
late, but
Like
Yeah.
just will be like, oh, wait for me.
yeah.
Who listens to terrible music?
Well, Crystal is the DJ in the locker room, and it's always good. So
Yeah.
that's a fun
Nice.
fact, I guess.
Bad music. I don't know. Gosh, we're being like so boring.
Sorry.
Best dancer.
Who are the most boring people on the team?
Yeah.
Yes.
Best dancer, probably Crystal or Sonnet.
Yeah, Crystal's
Crystal
really good.
actually, and then like Sonnet can compete, but
Yeah.
she's still second place.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
Best singer?
Oh.
Rose is actually a good singer, but she acts like she's like not serious, but it's good. Crystal's good.
What's
Not
your
really.
go-to song?
I was gonna say we've been singing. I keep dancing on my own. Thanks.
Sorry.
The song we've been listening to this song for like a month straight.
It's Robin, or is it another version of Robin?
I listened to a cover of it that I thought was the
It's
original.
real one, and I was like,
Oh.
that's not the real one.
And then we were
like,
fighting
wanted to fight
over
about it.
whose was the real one.
But
and
Robin is the real one, right?
She's so good. Yeah, she's great in concert too. If you've never
no,
seen it.
that's just the one song I know.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. Who's the loudest on the team?
Loudest.
Yeah,
There's this, like-
me.
I feel like we were saying
Even here, it's been so escalated because I feel like, I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like practice is like a little quieter here than
Yeah.
like I'm used to.
Yeah.
So when I like yell and I'm like obnoxious, like as usual, I just feel like everybody's like, what?
I feel like when we're in the US, if like somebody like shanks a ball or like does something bad, they'll like yell at themselves.
Shoot.
Yeah. Shoot.
Gosh
Like,
darn,
yell.
golly gee.
So
Yeah.
I feel like we're all used to that, but even in the US, Sam's still the
Yeah.
loudest one. So like now coming here and like nobody does that.
Yeah.
Like everyone like makes a mistake and like maybe will silently mumble to themselves.
Yeah.
That's it. But like Sam
And then I
will-
still have like random outbursts.
How did you guys meet? Was it through the national team?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
this
were,
is
like-
where we like don't really know.
Well, yeah, I know we were like, weren't we roommates in Hawaii?
Yeah.
And then like, I think Rose is just like, she like, this, Sam, stop stuttering. She like wants to laugh at everything. So I think that when we were roommates for the first time, like something funny would happen and we'd like bond over it. And
Yeah.
it was like so fun to like start being friends with her because like everything was funny and we started having all these like inside jokes.
It was the
Yeah, like when I was FaceTiming and you recorded me. Yeah, it was so. See, like we've referenced inside jokes so many times, so I just feel like if you're like around her, like you have to just like laugh and get
Yeah.
along, and like it's been so fun.
How long ago was that?
That was 2015.
was it?
Yeah, it was at the Victory Tour.
Oh yeah, it was.
And like we had known each other before that. Like we probably had a 23s camp
yeah.
together or something, but I am a little bit older, so we didn't like grow up in the youth teams together or anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's right, because you're older, so you missed the...
I'm 28.
That's why we laughed when you said the young guns.
Yeah, because everyone
that not young?
assumes I'm like Rose's age, and then because they're like, why else would they be such good friends? And I'm like 3 years older than her, so
Yeah.
surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Thank you guys so much, genuinely, for hanging out and for sharing all your fun stories, and also just for making sort of the next generation of football fun and really, really exciting to watch. And I really, really look forward to seeing you guys here in the WSL and also with the national team, and wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
This is The Players.
Coming up next week on The Players,
Whatever I do, I want it to be really good at it.
PSG's Nadia Nadim and Christiane Endler join the podcast.
You broke one of the girls' noses.
With a ball, not with a ball. With a ball.
So make sure you subscribe via the BBC Sounds app so you don't miss an episode. The Players has been brought to you by BBC Sport and Copa 90.
I'm feeling it.
BBC Sounds.
As things slowed down for everyone this year, I've decided to reach out to Virgil van Dijk amongst loads of other A-list guests.
That buzz of going out there and playing for 60, 70,000 at Anfield, you're going to miss that at one point.
I talked to them about what gets them up in the morning and how they dealt with the world grinding to a halt.
I really don't have those days when I think I don't want to, because I know I have to.
Join boxing promoter Eddie Hearn for the No Passion, No Point podcast. Subscribe on BBC Sounds.